can say, you can have an official Everfree Northwest sticker or something. Something to say that by giving to this other person's Kickstarter, you are also supporting Everfree Northwest.
Well, I mean, again, this is kind of something we have to talk, to Matt about. But I mean, again, I think that us promoting their fundraiser alone should be, I think, more than generous, especially since we're. Yes.
I should wait for you.
Basically, especially since we enjoy a large amount of direct access to the largest pony media outlets in the world, and if we basically say, could you please run a feature that, this, pony comedy troupe wants to come to Everfree Northwest, that they could run as part of the convention compilation or even a feature. I think that's more than generous. That's basically us saying publicly that we would like them there, but it divorces us of any actual responsibility or liability of, basically,
Yeah, okay.
So.
The one thing I have to say with that is when you're talking about community interactions, yeah, from the perspective of the community, they're like, oh, this person I like wants to go there. Well, Everfree is sending them there. Well, Everfree seems that, if we do this for, say, 5 guests, well, Everfree seems to have 5 music guests, and they're not paying them to come out, but if they come out, they'll feature them. It can come off a little,
Favoritism?
well, no, it actually comes out the opposite.
Cheap.
It comes out, like you're trying to benefit from something, because people look at a press release and they say, hey, that's not a lot of effort, so, like, how are they helping? So the idea of something like, if they have if you do $5, hey, thanks for, for helping me get out there. If they do $10, if they provide like a signature to them, that's something that we're not providing. But if we provide like a room or a time for them to provide a signature, that's something that we can give without being financially obligated or giving a material product in any way.
Keep in mind that the way that this hotel is booked, any kind of concession of even space, even if we have it already, is a financial concession.
Yes.
And
I'm just pointing out different ideas and stuff like that. Times when other rooms wouldn't be used, like later at night, something like that, for that particular thing. But trying to be interactive and trying to, maybe they haven't run a Kickstarter before, but that's what they want to do to try and get out here. Helping them with ideas about different price points and stuff like that, of well, if we fund $5 or $15, well, what's the difference? I don't know what I should offer the fans. Well, I can offer this CD that's a free download. Well, that's great, but you want to have more than just 1 or 2 things, because some people might really love someone. They might say, hey, I'll pay $100 if it helps you get out here. And you know what? The fact that I get to meet you or something, 3 people sit down with them, have a meal together, each buy their own food. That's something that if we help facilitate, it looks good, but at the same time, it's not an investment on our part. But still, because it's interactive, and because they can say on the thing they help figure out how to the different levels. It makes it look more like we're helping the people get here, rather than if you can make it, we'll feature you. But if you can't make it, too bad.
I think we can walk a line here. It's going to be different on each case. I'm open to your idea that we may have to do some creative arrangements. I just want to make sure that we talk about it. That's
it's a concession between the legal and the public outlet.
Yeah, I would not rule anything out, honestly. I mean, I think it's a fantastic idea. Don't get me wrong. I just want to
walk the line.
Going too far is more of a problem than
legal issues. Notwithstanding.
Reputation issues too.
Yeah. There's reputation issues, and at every step of the way, even if it's something as simple as just calling Cal Painter Sophisto and saying, hey, could you run this feature? That alone is going to be a subjective process, because any pony and their brother can come in and say, oh well, we're the such and such group, and we've got 12 subscribers on YouTube, and we think that we're a big deal, and we think you should give us the same treatment that you're giving Sure Clock Tones and Living Tombstone. And it's like, well, this you know, I hate to say it's, you know, we're not running a popularity contest, but we kind of are. And our main goal as a convention is to get flanks in the seats and badges around things. And, you know,
There's $1.5 billion basic resources that all have to be individually managed, and you have to figure out what's best.
Well, the other thing is, everybody is an individual. We're not gonna make a blanket policy because what would be helpful for shirt cloth owners might not be what this other party needs. So it's not so much a popularity contest as it is we wanna tailor our assistance to each particular group to get them the best benefit for them and still be mindful of all this stuff. So hopefully we can all sit down and talk about that. That sounds pretty cool.
Yes, somebody stands back.
oh, yes.
I have a point, and I don't know if this is something that should be brought up public or not, but like, the issue I have with crowdfunding with to get people to a convention is you're basically asking people to pay $50 for a convention, and then also on top of that, asking them to pay more money to get their favorite people to come to the convention, which just seems a little weird to me. But that's coming from a point of understanding the finance of convention. I understand why that works, but coming from an outsider perspective, I don't think it would. So I would just be a little iffy about using crowdfunding.
That's a really good point. I think that, you know, up to this point, community guests by and large have come on their own dime, and it's been, you know, I think that as time goes on and the convention landscape gets more crowded and more complicated, that finance has become a bigger issue. So honestly, you know, I get what you're saying, but there is going to be a point in time where we say, well, it's better than nothing. Because if they can't make it at all on their own dime, and they need help for publicity, then it's, you know, there's very little to lose in trying, in my opinion. But again, it is a little bit.
So I do understand your point of view coming from the public, but okay, so I did a crowdfunding to get me back up here for Everfree this year because I'm going to be in Oklahoma. Now, Everfree did do a little bit of publicity for my campaign. I believe it went out, twice during the 2 months that I was running the campaign?
On Tumblr, I believe.
Hmm?
On our social media outlets.
Yeah. Reblogging, retweeting, you know, the fact that I was doing a crowdfunding to get me back up here. Now, in a lot of other fandoms, I could see that not working and people being put off by it. But during the months that I was doing this to raise the funding so that I could get back up here for the convention, and keep in mind, I'm not a guest of honor, I'm not a famous musician, I'm not an artist, I'm Line Monkey. And while that means that everybody in the convention sees me multiple times during the convention itself and everybody hears me, I'm not exactly, you know, living Tombstone. You know, I'm not Pika Petey. I'm not, you know, I'm not any of these big name people, but people still want to help the people that they like get to a convention. So doing a crowdfunding where the person who wants to come is setting up the crowdfunding and their fans are the ones that are doing that. And if Everfree Northwest retweets it, reblogs it on Tumblr, that's publicity that they can use to spread the word of, hey, I want to be there. Do you want me there? Well, help me get there, and I will be there. And this fandom responds to that really, really well. So I think that doing it that way could be good for certain individuals or groups that can't fund it on their own.
The other thing too is that a lot of these people, well, some of them, have been here before on their own money. And if it was somebody who had never come here before and they were just like, well, I'd like to come, but I can't get there, help me please, and they've never been, it's kind of like, well, if I'm a big enough fan, I guess so. But some of these people have done it before, and now they want to go again, and they're like, I've done this before, but this time I need help, would you help me? People are a lot more receptive to that than, I've never done this, can you help me? So
like
somebody,
with Mike last year.
yeah, like it's I think so.
I mean, in the case of, like, for instance, in the case of Shirt Cloth Pones, they came on their own dime the first two
Right.
cons and
Exactly.
drew 500 people each time.
And so now they're like, hey, we've done this before, you've seen us before, we want to do it again, but this time we need help, would you help us? People are a lot more receptive to that than somebody who hasn't.
Yes.
I think also in this regards, having a bit of transparency, if you do the crowdfunding, you kind of want to say, the people who are funding will want to know where it's going to go. So if you do that option, you're going to want to have pretty transparent, a pretty transparent idea of what's going on, for the public, because I know some of the things that I've done in the past, and some of the other conventions I've been to, they have the money coming in, and you don't know where it's going, you don't know what it's helping out. It's kind of, if that makes sense.
It does, and I think it comes back again to what we're talking about with, trust between the community and the guests, and the people that they want to see. That there has to be some sort of implicit relationship between people funding any kind of crowdfunding effort and the people who want to go. If such and such person says, I want to come back to Evergreen Northwest, but I can't afford it. I need, we need $1,100 for airfare. And then if it gets funded, anything beyond that is great. But as long as they're up front and they say, okay, we're going to be there, we booked our plane tickets, I think that's where the obligation comes. Yes.
Would there be a way to possibly make it like, so if it's their first time, helping like different amount of assistance, or if someone has come and they serve like 500 guests, then that's worth the investment, then as opposed to someone who, but maybe if they did get the chance to get there with just a little bit of help, who knows what would happen next time. So I was just wondering, like, if it'd ever be possible to have like different levels, like of gold, silver, platinum, just to like help depending on,
Well, let's keep it in perspective here. The only thing that we as an organization are talking about doing is helping to publicize their other people's crowdfunding.
That they're promoting their own.
Yeah, basically we are basically the only thing that we are doing is offering to use our influence and our relationship with Pony Media
And their social media
and
outlets.
social media in as much as we are trying to make this a community-focused event, because that's what it's about.
and then maybe like the amount of promoting like would change, or.
But again, that's a slippery slope, because it's subject to both. We basically don't have an editor bid on EQD. We can't just post whatever we want. It is basically subject to what their needs are as an organization, what their traffic is. If they want to stick us in the daily roundup or the convention compilation, that is up to them. We are just going to be grateful for it and move on. So we can't create different tiers of publicity because we just don't have control over that.
I think we want to avoid giving the impression of nepotism, so keeping it out of our hands, like, hey, you're the one running your own campaign, we'll publicize all your opponents too.
We're basically putting in a good word for them.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing. So this is, I think, let's not overthink it. I mean, this is really between the community and the people who want to get here. And we're just going to try and say, hey, by the way, they're having a fundraiser. And that's pretty much where our relationship has to end.
Do you want to just add, anybody who has any suggestions, just have them to send to media, or if anyone has a campaign that they might want to come to promote, just send it to media?
Yeah, send it to media at Everfree.NW. CC this dude right here in the green shirt.
Oh, yes,
Oh, that's
yes,
his
that
name?
guy.
I thought it was something I couldn't say in public.
Let's do more people to read these.
We're generally happy when you don't.
I think that is it for me.
Okay, cool.
Thank you, by the way, everyone.
All right, so charity, I'll cover this briefly. Brightside can't be here today, but she filled me in on how the charity is progressing, and I'll just let you all know that they have finalized the format of the auction. It's going to have two components: the silent auction, where, as far as I understand, all donations are going to be at the silent auction. That people can look through a gallery and they can see them, and they can bid on them as they want. And then the top items will be sent to the actual live auction, because just the fact of the matter is that the live auction can only be so many hours, and to actually live auction off every single thing that's donated to charity would take a day and a half. So the format is just basically the most expensive top items that are bid on the most. I wasn't able to get an answer immediately on whether or not it's going to be a top dollar amount or number of bids or how exactly that's going to work, but it's only a certain number of items are going to go to the live auction, and that's going to be clear to the people who are donating up front. Like, they have to read the letter and they have to agree that they've read that letter. Regardless of whether or not they do, they have to agree that they did. And that with that, they are accepting donations right now, and you can just go to everfreenw.com/charity, and I'm pretty sure it's just on the main page as well. And then you have to read that letter, you have to fill out a form, and then they will proceed from there. So with that, I'll toss it over to logistics. Met Boy?
Yep.
You had
Don't have it. Logistics and answer desk and security are starting to pull together the information we need for the radio plan. And the most important thing we're trying to pull together now is how many radios do you people need? I sent out an email, I think last week, to a bunch of people, but if you think you need a radio, send to logistics@Everfree Northwest and say what you want to do with it, and we will work up a plan that includes everything, that includes all of the requirements. One thing I want to say is that you can't just request a radio for the sake of having a radio. You need to explain why, what you intend the radio to be used for, who you want to give it to. And they say Line Monkey is probably going to want some radios.
Yeah.
For yourself and your staff.
Thankfully, getting the schedule done, well, that can't happen until events, lists, everything, so that I know when the big things are going to be, so that I know how many people I need and when. However, I have worked it out so that at any one time, there should only be 8 line management people, and that's for really hecka busy Friday, Saturday
No more-
registration and main panel stuff.
And all of them would need a radio?
Probably 6 at a time would need a radio just because of the separation between different areas.
But still, get that in the email to logistics@Everfree Northwest,
Can do.
and we can work it into our plans.
anything else from logistics?
Not from logistics directly, but Aloha, you had some things to say about the proper care of the radios.
How many of you had a radio last year?
Theoretically.
How many of you remember these headsets, the little ones that go in your ear?
Never used one.
So, when Everfree and admittedly Rainforest sent back the radios, we had ball of headset. Literally, one headset in a bag. We're going to work on the packaging to make sure that it's obvious that you're not supposed to send the headsets back that way. Admittedly, it's not anyone's fault. Last day of the con, everyone's like, oh my god, we gotta get packed up, everything's gonna have to go right now. Truck's waiting. And that happens. But we're working on that. And on general radio use, this was something that I heard a lot last year. Or people yelling at their radio. They don't respond well to it. We can't hear you. The other big problem was push the button. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Probably 2 or 3 seconds. It won't hurt. Then start talking. Otherwise we get, this is, they'll call department name, this is so-and-so, or this is so-and-so, and we're missing one of those 2 very important things. We know that Bob is calling for something. We do not know what Bob wants, or where Bob is, or any number of other details. So, the other thing I'll point out, in the amateur radio world, some people call this the release to listen button. That means you should let go of it occasionally. The radio is not for long conversations. If you need to spend 10 minutes talking about the VA's water bottle problem. Find the son of a, talk to them face to face. Find the other guy with the radio. Don't do it over the radio.
Things like on
House
the wall
phones.
Which
It's not a phone, it's got a cable on it.
Gene last Gene last year did get us a list of all the house phones. We had house phones everywhere. There was a house phone in Conops. I'm sure Met Boy can work on making sure the staff have a list in the staff handbook of what the house phones are. The numbers actually don't really change year to year. So, you know, there's a whole bunch of ways. Honestly, you guys were pretty good about how to use the radio, but honestly, you don't do it every day. So a little bit of education and training. And I suspect that Kay will come back. By the way, this is Kay Fox.
So, so I say this to every con every year. I'm the one whose name is on the letter from the FCC when people screw up. So if I tell you not to do something on the radio, please follow that direction.
So the advice that I'll give is, and we'll cover this again. The reason this radio is yellow and not black is so I don't lose it, because this is my personal radio. I'm one of the people who's like, oh yeah, hi, I hug someone, the radio's sitting here, and then I walk off. At least this way I can come back for it, and it's probably still there because it's bright yellow. And so we'll probably cover this again. There will be some notes about this in the staff handbook, correct?
Yes, there will be.
Yeah, we're working on that. And you know, if you guys have any questions about radios, Kay and I are happy to answer them. I'm going to take that as a no.
Well,
So-
I've got a technical question.
Sure.
You know, I don't know very much about radio, but I do know that my boyfriend and I have a tri-band ham radio. Can that be tuned to the frequencies that are used for the call?
You
No.
can listen.
But you can't legally transmit.
With the emphasis on that word.
Legally.
There's something called type acceptance. Now, there are radios that you can purchase that can legally be tuned up on that band, and you can transmit all day long. Now, I'll tell you something. That ham radio that you have will probably produce wonderfully clean signal. In fact, cleaner than a lot of the Chinese junk that is type accepted, because the standards are honestly as white as a barn. But legally, you cannot use it. And that's sort of where I'll leave that and let that be implied as much as I'm saying.
I am curious what the frequency is, Ken.
So typically we have groups of people who have radios that they bring the rainforest and they're programmed up, and we've even loaded crypto keys on some of them. But from a legal standpoint, all of the radios have to be owned or legally in the possession of the licensee, which is me, for them to be used with the license. So,
As you may. And it's up to him as to whether this actually happens or not.
what?
Whether other people can use third-party equipment.
Yeah.
I've actually seen him do it. He'll do a technical inspection of the radio to make sure that it's type accepted, which is basically take it off and look at the battery, and there's a stand on the back. You know, basic
There's Motorola on
qualifications. Yeah, that's actually a worthwhile test for some of the stuff. But so, you know, yes, it probably will. That does not necessarily mean we can.
Okay.
The hotel will not have a radio. Just so you know.
I just asked for one, 'cause I thought I was gonna need one.
Well, you might need one, but I
I-
told him what happened.
Gene will not have a radio, right?
No,
Right.
I'm not expecting you to have one. That's fine.
I'm
It's
sorry, what's
okay,
your name
Gene.
again?
You've got a radio
What?
that operates on GSM just fine.
K.
Folks. Okay. And are you actually on staff right now, or is?
I would like to be.
Okay. Well, I was just thinking that, like, it sounds like you're kind of going to be coordinating the radio usage for the comms, if I was hearing that right. And so, if that's the case, I would think that, you know, we want to have you
Well, at the very least, he's
on
a
staff, so
vendor
you
to
can have a
Does that
page
make
on the
sense?
staff wiki, and people can contact you if necessary
But
about any
we have-
questions.
look with
I'm,
like
I'm
CM.
also
He's part
from
of the group that
Civic
has CM
Solutions,
too.
so I know more about this registration system you're using than I really wish I did.
Yeah, contact HR now, do it.
Who's
After
HR?
the meeting.
I'm sure we'll have
Yeah.
breakouts.
Yeah. Sounds good.
I got the list of house phones and radio policies and usage more specifically added to this.
I'll talk with you. I can't think of your name right now. John. About doing another radio demo closer to the event, probably the week before.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So, someone put Matt.
Yes.
Put it on your list to remind me to do a radio demo in like the second to last or the last meeting
Is the
before the
weekend
con.
Before the con, a meeting.
Probably yes.
Yeah.
That works.
Well, we have 2 radios.
Yeah.
All right. So,
I mean,
moving on.
feel free
Radios.
to
Radios are
talk
good.
about it each time so people have it.
Does business have anything they'd like
I can talk about it at each meeting.
yeah,
I
there's
think
a couple
it made much
things.
more of a difference than just doing it at the last meeting. Pass the radio
Well,
around.
Anything for merch?
Well, we have narrowed the list of long to a list of short. We've gotten down to the point that we have initial order quantities, or at least suggested order quantities, and we've sort of worked out pricing. I'm not ready to share any of that yet, though Flips knows because Flips helped me work it out. Flips and Morgan.
Theoretically.
Yeah. So once I actually have gotten to the point of doing quotes, sorry, I was out of town, and then I was out of town again. And then I was sick for a week. And then during that week I had to get caught up on the other 3 conventions I'm working on, and now my attention has turned back towards Everfree. But it won't take me long to put out bids for RFPs.
Okay, good to know. All right, move along. Sponsors had a quick announcement they want to get out. Unfortunately, Sabrina couldn't be here because she works on Saturdays until the end of time. And fairly certain it is on the wiki, but there is a form if there's any departments that like there's something that would maybe enhance their department a little bit that they think a local business could provide. There's just a simple little form saying, hey, who are you? What do you want? Who do you think you can get it from? And there we go. What's up?
Should have asked this back when we were doing charity. Do we have any numbers on how many art panels we want to borrow from?
Between 1 and several million. I'll get back to you.
Okay.
You only have 1 to 50 to choose from.
Okay, then that narrows it down a little bit. Thank you.
I would like an increment of 10 to make things simpler.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine it will be a fairly similar set to what we had last year because that seemed to work almost perfectly.
No, it didn't. We had a lot of panels going unused.
Well, then, ignore me.
We do.
Because we brought enough for Earthwatcher A and B, but then you guys cut it in half, so half the panels stayed against the wall.
Yeah.
And you got hit with limits, so.
Yeah. Best laid plans then. Anyways,
I'd also like something in the plan for things that in a charity auction that require special shipping. I do not want another one of those goddamn rocking chairs.
Yeah. Oh, rocking chair.
I want clearly stated who is responsible for shipping it if it needs to get shipped.
You know, I would very much like that to be the responsibility of the person that actually gets the winning bid because, you know, that makes sense.
Then let's put that in there somewhere in the bidder form.
You guys had to pay for shipping of a rocking chair?
We still haven't shipped it.
Oh. I remember a convention in Calgary that auctioned off a TV or a refrigerator that they painted to look like a TARDIS. It was really cool. And then Sunday the guy comes in and goes, okay. And they're like, yeah, get it out of here now. How am I supposed to ship it? We don't care. Get it out now. That's the attitude to have.
Yeah.
Bidder assumes all responsibility
Yes.
for shipping.
Sounds good to me. That,
So make sure you have disclaimer, price does not include shipping.
Because if it's left in the hotel, then it becomes the hotel's.
Yeah.
Or-
It's logo free.
Trash.
None of the stuff is left in the hotel. It's just I can't even tell you how many things that chair has been stacked on top of.
Yeah, the shirts.
Yeah.
I will tell you that last year, and I don't know if security's in here.
No,
Like you. Is everything in Lost and Found Sunday was taken to the hotel and dumped on their front desk, which was fantastic because Ron didn't tell them. 100% of everything that was lost and found went back to that. People actually contacted the hotel.
Oh, cool.
Really?
So it was, Rainforest did it. It was 3 boxes. He was ready to kill us until everything went back. So.
Probably hand it over to Monday. We're hoping to do con-ops.
So we're gonna do that again?
Monday.
Yes, we will be doing it.
No, I just want Ben.
Yeah?
Can we talk about this? Because I think that we should be good, so I didn't even...
Good for?
Let's just chat.
Oh yeah, come over after.
Chat talk.
We don't get to talk enough anyways. Let's just
All right.
No,
Business, any other business?
Yeah, one last little thing. Just let me remember what it is. Oh yeah, that thing. As of last night, the final list of vendors for the vendors hall was approved. Letters will be sent out in the next couple of days. So any of you have any friends like, hey, when are they gonna decide? Monday, Tuesday, we should get something in their inbox. Yeah. What's up? Fun.
I'm clapping for you inside.
Now, I answered an email and never got a reply back from your, I don't know who, dealers.
I have dealers, Jeremy Flores.
It's mainly, they asked about the point of having, like, the outside of the room dealers like we had last year.
Yeah.
The ones on this side that were right in front of the dealer's room.
Yeah.
That kind of sucked.
Kind of did.
And so I gave my opinion and suggestion of, the other wall is great because we had the line issues is where it sucked. And I never got a response if you're moving it or how many dealers are you just filling the room only? Because the same map applies from last year.
Okay, yeah, I was hoping the same map applied from last year.
Unless you moved it. And
No,
told me.
no, everything's all exactly how it was last year, and yeah, I mean, if a couple tables outside the hall, period, are okay, that's fantastic. Location of them, definitely, crossplay them. Yeah, the other wall would be perfect for table trades and people we don't like.
Right.
That's fine. All right.
Okay.
Cool. I'll get you an official response. People. Yeah, business is good.
Business got business. Okay. Next up, events.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Who's going to be sitting for Vintner today?
I'm standing in for Vintner and everybody else who's not here. Okay. Well, actually, yeah. I'm sitting in for Vintner, I'm standing in for Mary, and I'm standing in for Bacon.
Will you do different voices?
I don't know what Vintner sounds like.
That's good, neither do we.
That means you get to make something up.
Okay, cool. So, here is the email from Vintner. Okay. So, first up, I restructured the floor plan a fair bit. A digital version will be available. Anyone wanting a copy can write me at vintner@everfreenorthwest.com.
Doing it right now.
Claimed 3 rooms of space that went underutilized last year: rock band, art show, and storage. Each of the writing, tabletop, and electronic gaming tracks now have their own dedicated space that can be run all con long. That's the first thing. Secondly, we are greatly increasing the amount of cosplay events and panels this year, which will include a contest. Yay!
Question.
That's what it says. I am reading this verbatim.
Good question.
Good question.
Has hotel approved the layout?
No.
I wouldn't know.
Well, I'm the hotel person, so is Christy. She just said no.
So
Okay.
we have not seen the new layout. I would like to see the new layout, please.
Before they're approved.
Okay, I will. Writing this down. Oh, dang it. Okay, so. Who am I telling Vintner to send this to?
Hotel.
Okay. Send new layout
The important person.
to
Hotel for
hotel at
approval.
blah blah. Yes. Okay.
We want to have hotels approval before sending it out to anyone else?
Yes, that would be nice.
I do not want to have an unfortunate situation in which we get somebody's hopes up because they're ecstatic about the layout and then I have to come in and drop a hammer on something.
Well, we already did that. Vendor wanted to put something in the ballroom that the 7-foot table does not move, so putting 3 6-foot tables in there is impossible.
Right.
I missed that one.
Yes, okay.
I'll have to find that because that sounds funny.
Yeah, if you guys have any things you need me to tell him, just
Yes.
say it, because, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Staffing, our staffing situation highly depends on getting that information.
Okay.
So, yes, very highly.
High priority.
High priority. In fact, for security, it's dependent somewhat on what events are taking place when, so we need to know.
The schedule.
Yeah, we need the schedule. Because then we can staff appropriately.
It's important for logistics.
And for production staff as well, it's pretty
What are we
critical.
waiting on?
We're waiting on the master events plan, whether that's a map or a schedule or what, but we need that. After it's approved by hotel, of course.
The room layout's approved by hotel. Everyone else needs to get the list of what's when as soon as possible.
Yeah, so I'm looking for more than just the layout itself.
Okay,
Schedule
you're
if we.
looking for the list.
Yeah.
They're looking for the layout.
Yes.
Anybody else looking for anything else?
Yes.
Production's looking for both after hotel.
I'm both as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Validation.
All right,
I need a list of
We love you.
events and when they're happening and where.
Everybody needs the schedule and floor plan. Okay.
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 We just want to know what's going on. I do too.
Yeah,
I really
everybody.
appreciate that actually.
All right.
Okay, next
Moving on.
thing.
Moving on.
This was already said, but we now have a silent auction running during the con along with our usual live auction. That's been said. I can't exaggerate the number of musicians, writers, pony video makers, etc., have wrote to us. What? These I forward to the track leads for them to consider having attend panels or join them staff-wise and or be aware of any existing panels that they may want to sit on.
Do you want me to explain that?
Yes, please.
Basically, people say, "Hey, I'd like to run this event at your con," and then he sends it to someone else to deal with.
To the appropriate lead.
I've been
Yeah.
experiencing a bit of that.
I get a respond back for the writing track. We already have that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Respond back for music track. What are you talking about? Right, okay. I feel we have more than double the number of submissions than last year at this point. A lot of interest in the fandom. Perhaps the other track leads in attendance can explain upon this. Well, that's me, and me. Yes. That's it. Alright, and finally, we have, well, from him, we have nearly 60 approved panels at this point between all of the tracks and have yet to work with the talent on defining their main stage events. Last year we had 50 panels total, including main stage events. This year is already 20% cooler. Happy face.
Do you want me to give that number?
You got a question?
Vintner says, thanks, please let me know if you plan to, oh, that's for me, my bad. Okay, not important. Okay, anything for Vintner specifically?
Oh, not
What,
for Vintner.
anyway?
Oh,
What?
how solid is your plan looking within your own track? Do you think?
What information do you need? I can get it.
I'm trying to get a vague feeling for where you guys are at in the planning progress.
We have, for the writing track, which is actually the next section on the list.
Sorry.
Oh, okay, I'll just
I'll
finish
wait.
up for,
Yeah.
So, as far as cosplay goes, things are still kind of waiting until the season ends, because then we start writing scripts for opening ceremony skits and whatnot. So that's still kind of on hold. Although, what?
I got my Princess Cadence cosplay almost done.
Yay! Although we have released our first little cosplay promotional video. If you have seen it, cool. I'm sorry. If you haven't seen it, go see it so I can apologize to you.
Why?
It's really cheesy,
Is
but
that
I
the
love
one
it.
in the kitchen?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the one in the kitchen.
I love that.
It was
I'm
good.
That was pretty great.
Yeah.
They only did one mistake, and that's letting Derpy drink anything. 'Cause you have to think of the point of kids might watch this, and they
Right.
shouldn't do that.
It was cranberry juice.
How would they know it's just a red bottle? I mean, other than that, I laugh my ass off.
It was a magical potion.
It was Kool-Aid, for all we know.
Who cares? The video was actually pretty cool. I already watched it.
Anyway, also, I don't know who the proper person is for that. I know some people have been bugging them, but if more people could, whoever on the media or promotions submits to like EQD.
I bugged Kyle.
Okay. Well, go bug Kyle
I need to
again.
bug him again.
Yeah.
But basically everyone's busy this week with school and stuff.
Okay, yeah, it's
Finals week,
so.
yeah.
I think that's it for cosplay, as far as I know. Next is music.
Oh, question on
no?
cosplay.
Okay, first.
Do you guys have an idea yet where the cosplay event is taking place?
What is?
Location.
What event?
I didn't know if there was like an event, like a contest or something.
The contest will probably be in the same room, I'm assuming.
What's the same main stage?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
With the
what?
amount of people there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, let's put it in Whitby, you guys.
Boardroom, Gene. It needs to be in boardroom. Whitby is far too small.
I'd at least be nice and give them Harbor.
There are a couple of cosplay panel-y things, but as far as the big costume event goes, I'm guessing it's main stage. If it's not, I'm going to be a sad blue, and nobody wants a sad blue. Anyway, yeah, okay. Anything else for cosplay that I could forward along or whatever? Yes?
People will know whether or not their panel's been approved.
That is events, not cosplay, and I do believe that most panels have been approved by this point.
Which means you'll probably know Wednesday of the convention.
Yes, exactly.
Oh.
The day before. Yeah.
Well, as we've said, we still have to clear floor plans and stuff with hotel and all that. I want to say April, May. No, wait. What month is it? May. April, May. Yeah. Okay. Right. Because I know that they have like approved some that are like the big events that have already like happened last year, but they're still sorting through. Although that being said, if anybody has like the asbestos panel cosplay music event idea thing ever, hit them up because either they might already be doing something similar that you can help out with, or they might be like, well, we're gonna just shove this in here. So.
Asbestos.
Yes.
Asbestos.
Yes. The asbestos panel.
Legal might need to talk to you about that.
Yeah, and so will we. They got the asbestos out of that hotel a long time ago.
Let's take a deep breath.
That's what they like to do.
No.
Charity this year will be benefiting the mental video.
Anyway, okay. If we're done with cosplay, moving on to music. So everybody knows, music is closing applications on the 31st of March, which is in about 2 weeks or so. I don't know, something like that. So
15. So
yeah, so half a month. I am in the process of writing some sort of verbal vomit for media to post, edit, and then post, saying, hey, you have like about a week left.
Just for performers who want to come.
Yes, that is it for applying. Sending in an application for performing at Pokestop. Yes.
Do we have, is there any kind of criteria, set out for people that, we can add that, or is it just a completely subjective process?
What do you mean?
There's a specific form that needs to be filled out.
Right, but I'm just saying that the vetting process for position is kind of curious. And we'll talk later.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, we'll talk later. Other things, that's not everybody's stuff. I think that's it for music. What else am I forgetting? Events, what? Yes.
We are in negotiations to try and get a cosplay repair station. Yes. It sounds like this isn't solid. We don't have a solid agreement yet, but we're trying to possibly get the UW cosplay repair group.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That is wonderful.
I know that Everfree's been in contact with the person who does professional cosplay, and like talked to George Lucas to get permission to do Star Wars cosplay for people and sell it.
Wait,
And,
I didn't process. Go again.
You guys have been in contact with someone who, as a job,
Yeah.
made cosplay for people and has gotten actually knows how to get permissions to make cosplay and do stuff like that.
Okay.
And has experience, and I know that she basically hasn't been contacted since. So do you
know who that is? It wasn't.
Esther Chillet?
Okay, let's talk more after the meeting.
Yes.
And can we note the point that George Lucas no longer owns Star Wars?
Don't remind me.
This was more than a year ago.
Is there any other questions for any sort of events anywhere? I have a hand over here.
Just so you know, this George now that's available by Disney.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This is years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's done it for like 15 years.
All right.
Eventy things, questions, comments? If you don't bring them up now, go send it to events at blah blah. Yes, what? Yes.
How soon are you going to get the musical tracks out? Or list performers?
Oh, right, okay, I guess I could explain more of that, yes. Applications close on the 31st. We will be processing through the month of April. They should be announced at the beginning of May. Should be.
So
I
track
will be
list
pushing
about
for
May.
it. Yeah, about May, maybe even mid-April. I would like it to be April.
I just thought of it for security, so scheduling for staff.
And yes, chatting with this guy over there about that. Any other things? Yeah.
Do you know the concert run times roughly yet?
Well, they're not official, and we don't really know. But same class here.
That's not your same
Well,
start time.
start
Still about
7-ish,
till
and
I can look
until
this up for you real fast.
yeah, what? Huh?
I believe I can look this up.
Oh, okay. Well, I was told by somebody it's not
We
set.
can
so-
connect after this real quick and figure it out.
Yes.
Basically, solidifying those schedules is where we're at, so we can start putting people into those slots.
Yep.
So the more
That's
specific
where
we
we're
can
at.
get on our time frames, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other things? No thanks. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Break.
Yeah, break. Yeah. It's 3:03. Let's meet back at 3:18, 3:20ish. So, yes, 15 to 17-minute break.
Oh well.
Find somebody with a big mouth. We have clips.
I don't know if
He gets their attention.
Sorry, I'm the next person on the list.
That's just, I have
Oh,
it.
I have a schedule as well. Sorry, I was looking at that.
Okay. Looks like we're about as close to being reorganized as we can get. To wrap up events real quick, Riding Track had some announcements they wanted to do.
Yes, let me open this real fast because I had to look at important things. Yeah, I'll just begin. So we recently ran a pre-con writing contest, and it was extraordinarily successful. We had 76 entries, a few of which dropped out after they're like, apparently I'm not as good of a writer as I thought I was, and that's fine. But this meant we had over 30,000 story views on fan fiction. Most of which voluntarily on their own accord said this is for the Everfree contest. So that's 30,000 like promotions out there, a lot of which were the same people, but that's still pretty good, and that's to date, like of this morning. We are finishing up the grading of the entries. We have it narrowed down to the final 14. We basically have the winners, but due to being slightly less efficient than I wanted to be, the community poll will be going up today or tomorrow, hopefully. And the idea behind that is that people can vote on their favorites. So even if they don't win the big prize, if a lot of if people are popular, they get a lot of votes on their story view or on their story, and say yes, I think this is this is worthy of winning a community vote. Then they can win a consolidatory prize, and they can't win that one and like first place. So we will release our winners at the same time we do that. One of the other things that's really cool about this is that we generated several thousand views on various forums across the fandom for our writing track. We also have over 100 people who follow the group and almost 50 people who follow our film fiction profile. As far as I know, we're the only con with a film fiction group and a film fiction profile, and that's all like been approved by film fiction, so that's a good presence. If you like pony fan fiction and you want to follow us, please do, because that helps us look better and it helps us grow more. If you write pony fan fiction and you have followers, if you make a blog about us, just letting people know that we exist, that is the best thing that you can do to help promote the writing track. Is when authors say, hey, I'm part of this con, or I've been to this con before, this is really cool, they're reaching out, they're interacting with the community, and they have a lot of cool things set up. One of the other advantages of having done all this is on 4 different occasions I've seen people that I don't believe were associated with Everfree, but I don't know everyone's profile, talk about how like Everfree is known as the best writing track, like the best con for writers. So not only do we have the numbers, we also are promoting the image that we want to promote successfully. So if anything people can do to help promote this any further is gravy, but it is something that's easy to do that can really help cement us to be known as having the best writing track. When we will be announcing the winners in a few weeks for the contest, so feel free to check that out if you like pony fan fiction, and feel free to check out the community poll and just pick out a few that sound interesting to you, read them, say whether you think they should be or should not be winner for the contest. Yes?
When you announce the winners, when are you going to start sending out prizes? Because I know one of the prizes is currently in storage.
Yes.
Can we
need design, because we were going to coordinate with design for just making sure that the patch and the bag, because apparently the person I talked to decided that they wanted to put the bag on the patch and do a patch as well, which I think is cool. But we wanted to make sure that we were good with design, and I've sent several emails.
Whatever about that, can we arrange things so that the prizes go out somewhere around the 6th staff meeting so I can just swing by storage and pick it up then?
We could. When would the 6th staff meeting
that would be April 5th.
That should work. If worst comes to worst, we might have to ship one of the prizes a day different.
Okay.
For the community, just the patch. It's just
Yeah.
we can put it in an envelope. It's not going to be that hard. For everything else, I believe we can get that done in time. I will work with the person who's doing that for us.
So we'll bring everything together around April 5th, or maybe a few days after, and then you will ship them off?
We said we'd do shipping. I believe media is coordinating that, or Tim is, because that's what we had talked
Who's
about.
actually taking things to the post office?
Yes. I don't know who's taking it to the post office. I was going to bring the stuff to someone to send off. I'll talk with Tim about that so that we know who.
I can do it, but I just need to know that I'm doing it, and then I need to get the stuff to me in a reasonable fashion.
Yes. That should be fine. It should take about a week and a half to have the bags done.
Okay.
And I talked to Tim about the cost already for that, and that I guess was approved. So that is it for the. One more thing about the writing track. If you know anyone who might be interested in being a panelist, we do have on the group, on the website, on forums, a place where you can go to submit an application. We have over 30 people who, including current staff who've been approved, who are interested in staffing. So unlike last year, where at the last minute we got a third of our staff to help flush it out towards the end, we can actually pick and choose staff for the panelists, which is really good because we can get a good variety of people to make sure that, we have 15 people who do shipping as their primary thing. Maybe we need to have something else, which would be nice.
And that's on that's on the forums?
The application is on the forums, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So if anyone has questions, that's it for the writing track. Excellent.
Yes. One more thing on events, tracks, and stuff like that. I forgot to mention this. I was trying to remember, but I couldn't. One more thing for cosplay track. Our contest is in need of prizes. I'd like to start figuring out what those are going to be. I know of a few, but we would like, if you have a business or you know somebody who has a business and can donate things, especially local businesses, that would be great.
Treasures in storage.
We do
have a
I would love
department
to
for
talk
that.
to you.
Yes.
Yes. But I'm just bringing this up because last year I paid for most of the prizes out of my own pocket, and that year this money is going for me having a hotel room so I can stay here. So let's talk.
More specifically, like I mentioned earlier, there is a form on the wiki.
Yeah.
Go on out. There you go. Done.
Yeah. Okay. Well. That, but that's it. If anybody has any donations or stuff, I don't. I need to
Okay. Events sounds like it is finito. Okay. Hotel. A few items.
Yay. Hi, I'm Gene.
Hey, Gene.
Haven't been here in a while. Chris has been handling everything greatly. Plus side, our hotel room block is contracted for 450. Yesterday we were at 596 room nights.
Okay.
So
Better than last year, huh?
at this time, way better than last year. Last year, I think in July, we ended up at 100% room occupancy of our contract. Right now, we're at 131%.
How many rooms are available? Do you know?
They'll keep selling until they run out.
Okay.
It's 4th of July weekend, guys. Nobody's here.
I wonder why.
Except cruise ships. But once the room blocks are done, if you have not made your room reservation, we will tell you that there's a hotel called the Clarion, which will be your next choice because we have a certain amount of rooms and I'm not giving my rooms up. And if you try to take my rooms, you have to fight with Christy.
Fight's dirty.
Other than that, yes, make your reservations because once we run out of doubles, once we run out of kings, there is no room here at the inn, and then you'll go across the street.
I know that I was having some trouble when I was trying to sign up for the room. Do you know if
We fixed that.
Okay, thank you.
online, they've got two systems here. There's the legacy system, which we're still on, and then there's the passkey system, which sucks, but is what they're going to.
Oh, God.
Yes, I know. Trust me, Rainforest has the passkey system. We do not. I did send a new a new link to web. I sent it to somebody to get it to web, and hopefully it is fixed now, so the rooms will be working right again. Because at one point you could only get doubles, you couldn't get any kings. Also to remind you that there is a room block or a staff block per se. It is these hotel rooms on this hallway. Mainly I control those, Christy controls those. If you want to be in one of those rooms, it will be a $20 upcharge per night.
To be in a staff room?
Because it is poolside. Last year, if you were in those rooms, you didn't get charged it because they figured it was one of my hotel rooms, so they didn't charge us for it. That's changing this year.
If we want to move our current existing reservation to one of these, do we contact
You
us
have
all?
to email me your confirmation number. There's only 18 rooms, guys.
Okay.
So if this is like Rainforest, usually I get 40 to 50 requests for these 18 rooms. Not everybody's going to get them.
Yeah, I'm not going to be storing con stuff in my room.
If someone was to send a request, are they sending a request for one spot in the room or for the whole room?
For the whole room.
Okay, so if we want to include other people that are staying with us, make sure to include
That's
that
not
in
my
the-
problem.
Yeah, once you have a room, what you do with your room
Is
is, yeah.
Whoever made the reservation, that person sends the reservation to him to move to.
That way we can deny anything that you're going on in your room. We can look all shocked and surprised, that they are?
What?
How dare they? We had no idea.
Two questions. Is hotel ever free and gray?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, who gets priority?
It depends what mood I'm in. And what proper bribes are given to us.
Okay.
Now, it's not just me, it's Christy, so you gotta get proper bribes both.
All right.
Also, to let you know, for programming, you're gonna love this one. And anything happening in a function space, by June 1st, me and Christy need to have the layouts for said room. If you do not give us a layout for that room, we will make one, and you have to go by it.
Don't touch the chairs.
You can move around. Okay, this isn't the Holiday Inn, guys. It doesn't cost us $1,000 to move a chair. But don't give me room layouts and decide at the last minute that it's going to change. We send the layouts to the hotel 15 days after the first. Once we send the layouts in,
They're out of our hands.
you don't get a room change. If you want to totally redo your room, that's fine, as long as in your budget, not mine, you're paying the $75 for the change per day. Also from Main Theater, who knows the point is June 1st is your cutoff for any fog machines, anything that we have to contact or the hotel has to contact the fire guys about.
Right.
Last year there was some grumbling because during the big events that room gets crowded. I will tell you again, I will kick security out of that room to get attendees in. That's my priority. Especially since Six Folds could not get in until I kick security out.
Which room is this again?
Main Theater. When I cut that room off, it means we're bending the fire code as much as I'm going to be comfortable with.
I'll make sure to get with Scorch about that.
He knows.
Okay.
He knows that I veto security. We are looking into the channel to broadcast live. Christy knows where the equipment's at. The hotel, now that they understand that they can actually do that, when I explain it to them, they'll figure out what the charge will be for that. But there is a possibility they will broadcast only PG events. If the event gets a little racy, you lose the video feed for the rest of the weekend. So opening ceremonies, some of the big events with the actors in there and out, there is the possibility. Equipment you guys have to handle. The feed is what we do with here and figure out the cost for.
This is closed circuit within the hotel?
Yes.
Yes.
It'll be channel 43. Unless we want a channel number of our own, then...
So ever free TV?
Yes, we can have a free TV all weekend.
Cool.
We shouldn't have a problem with keeping it PG. The only problem we had was that the Holiday Inn first year.
We'll move on from that.
Yeah.
We're not accepting that year's. That was the goof year.
Yes,
Other than that, I've had a lot of requests for valet parking. You're not all getting it. That's done. Guess GOHs get three parking. Treasurer, who's the treasurer?
Well,
you don't drive, do you?
No, I don't.
Then why the hell do I have you for a valet?
I have absolutely no idea.
So you want to get
Because it's just there.
They'll stay there. And somebody's going to get food or go in and out to get stuff all day. I don't know who that is.
I don't know either.
Well, they have one. Other than that,
Contingency driver.
2 trucks can be parked up above, and that's it. Wireless will not be turned on through the entire convention center. That's $1,200 a day. Unless the rain first, which is $1,200 for the weekend. I don't know.
If you can tether, do so.
If you want me to try to get it for the weekend at $1,200, I can see what I can do. But that only turns the wireless on in the function rooms here and all throughout the convention center.
It does not cover the
Does not cover the hotel rooms. Hotel rooms is $3,600 a day. Yeah, that's what my opinion was when I got 12 rooms.
There's packages for rooms that create free Wi-Fi that are pretty cheap, so.
Yes, but remember, if you go under a different package and do not go under our room block, it doesn't count for us, and that hurts us.
Gene, are those rooms that for staff that you're holding on to, are those including Wi-Fi, do you know, or?
No.
If you can.
Well, if you can connect to a function space from there.
It doesn't work. We tried that in my room. My room's a standing room where I'm always at, and I could not connect onto the function space.
But normally when you take over the room, the incidentals that your card's on there for, you can sign up using that.
Yeah.
You'll pay
I was just using my cell phone.
a small fee.
Yeah. But other than that, Christy is handling layouts.
bad.
On your contract, my printed one doesn't have it. Do you have when we can move into rooms and when we can move out of rooms?
It's
It's usually the back page.
Let me look at this year's. I have next year's up because I want to talk to you about it. But let me get this year's up and I'll find out.
Gene, I had a question. For that brief period in which they were changing their reservation system, and if someone booked a room with our code but didn't get our rate, is there a means by which that they can
Have
get
them
that
send me
rate?
the confirmation and we can fix it.
Okay, cool.
For a lot of it, I guess it's all under flips. It's business department. Art show, or whatever you're doing. Dealer's room, Reg. What's the June meeting? What's the first June meeting?
I haven't set a date with you on
Okay.
that yet.
Whatever the first June meeting is, the people running those rooms must, big must, be here.
Okay.
We are going to create a Facebook for the hotel. And we're going to take pictures of whoever can unlock the dealer's room, unlock art show, unlock main theater, are the only people that can open those rooms. We're going to create a couple little folders for the hotel. So me and Christy are not called at 8 a.m. to start unlocking rooms. They will have a book of who can unlock that room and only that room.
Sounds good.
But we need to have that created before, when it goes in with everything else.
I'll get them here.
And other than that, at the convention, I'm still here, but Christy is pretty much at that point going to be running everything. So remember, we kind of outvote you all when it comes to stuffing rooms. Other than that, Christy will hopefully find, because I don't have it here, when we can move in on what. I know Thursday we get everything at 8 a.m.
We're going to plan.
I think we have to be out of everything by 11 p.m. on Sunday. Except this room, which I think we have till noon on the next day. If we don't, I'll
My
get
notes say Summit, not, which is the room over there. Over.
Harbor?
No,
Peninsula.
Peninsula.
Peninsula, that's it.
Yeah, that is the next room over. We'll have Peninsula until probably Monday at noon.
And maybe running answer desk there for that extra half day. And we'll also be storing everything that we can't move out Sunday night, because our storage unit closes at 9 p.m.
Oh.
And other than that, I need to have a meeting with your security people and their top watches. There's some stuff last year that we can't allow next year because some of our security opened this convention for legal. And I can't allow that to happen next year. Yeah.
Can I talk to you about that? Scorch isn't here, but I'm in talks with him.
Oh, yeah. Scorch usually attends some of these meetings. You have it, Christy?
Yes. Thursday morning, 8 a.m. is when we get our rooms.
Yeah. Now, note the 4th of July last year, we couldn't move anything in. This year, I'm sorry, the 4th of July is on a Friday and our con starts Friday. Here's the plus side. It's costing us nothing to move in. It's the same cost as it cost us if we was on the 5th. So we're not paying the double fees for everybody being here that has to be here. None of it is being sent out or hit with us. So, I'm done. When do we have to be out Sunday?
Sunday at 11. I do not see a room
I'll get it.
for...
It was something that was the Avetta thing that was supposed to be flipped over into.
Okay.
Okay, so just make sure Thursday 8 a.m.
Thursday, 8 a.m. is when we get access. Sunday, 11 p.m. is when we use it.
All right.
Except for Peninsula, but I'll get that fixed. It's not. We went from the old event manager to a new event manager.
We're having to train her a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Always the way.
All right. Next up.
Well, she's used to dealing with events that are maximum of 500 people.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a learning curve.
She'll have a great learning curve afterwards.
I'm going to drop a few things.
Or she'll be replaced.
Well, this is designed for 300.
The asylum.
Okay, so next up on the agenda is HR. Loose leaf.
Is there anybody? Oh yeah, and do we have a transparent background for one of those logos?
Yeah, actually, if you take a look at the page on the wiki, I know it's
At
got
the logos
a
page?
terrible name, logo.
I thought
You'll
I
find a true tech font there that'll just.
might have missed that one. I'll look again. I think I missed it.
No, it's okay.
I saw a few with like colored backgrounds.
It's kind of magic,
yeah.
though.
Yeah.
They're hard.
Yeah.
Is that the egg things?
Yeah, the egg timer.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
It says so on the wiki.
Yeah.
But it's cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
So this is something that Royal put together. This is eventually going to be in the staff handbook. You guys have seen this once before, right?
Yes.
Okay. It is now actually available on the wiki because before I think it was literally just an image that was posted on the wiki. Yeah. So if you want to go to, do you want to head to the HR page? It's going to be more available on the staff handbook itself than on the wiki. It should be on the HR policy section. There it is, right there. Below. No. Back up. You were just there. Okay. Keep going up. You got this. You got this. Keep going. HR policy. There it is. Announcement. It'll be posted somewhere else soon. Okay. And it's currently posted on the HR policy site, mostly because there isn't exactly a I'm a chair site. Otherwise, it would be there. But yeah, I encourage you to look over that real quick. It's kind of his vision for how we should, who we are, basically. So if you have feedback about that, I'm sure he'd appreciate hearing from you on that. So anyway, let's see. What's next? So we've gotten a lot of staff applications. For a little while, I was a little bit worried that the demand wasn't going to be as high, but I think we're up to at least 120 applications that we're working with. So our target goal is at least 200. That's like our floor that we need to hit. So we've got a lot of staff to work with already, and we're making great progress.
How does that compare with last year?
Last year, I think we had somewhere near 230, 250, 240, right in there. I haven't looked
at this time.
Oh, at this time, I don't know. I don't have those documents from Jared.
What was the initial number again, Alex?
For
this year?
So far.
The target number, or where we're at?
Both.
We're currently at about 120. I think 120, 25, somewhere in there. And our target is a minimum of 200. But a lot of this depends on the event schedule. That's why we're so like, we need that schedule. Because once we have it, we'll know the exact targets, and we can start setting up numbers for each department.
Cool.
My HR staff is already going around to different leads and talking to them about the exact numbers for different positions. For example, productions and I will be working together soon to figure that out.
I need more staff.
And you need an event schedule.
I do.
Yes.
I can't do anything right now.
I know. Yeah, I know. We'll get once we have the event schedule. That's really going to launch.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I'm good.
So
You're
wait,
good.
So wait, we need the event schedule? I missed that.
Well, one thing about the event schedule,
We don't need
though,
events.
is that I heard from somebody somewhere saying that they need guests' contracts to be finalized or something, and their panels, because I did take a look at the tentative schedule we have, and there is absolutely nothing going on scheduled on Saturday. There is stuff going on Saturday, but we don't know what it is yet.
Yeah, we are still working on getting more guests. And
Okay.
Really, the problem with guests and events is that we kind of need the guests before we can really figure out what events we're going to do with them.
Yes, so how do we get this schedule? Because it
Well,
seems like they don't want
hopefully,
to release it until
hopefully
you guys
Vintner
are
is
finalized.
it has got placeholders on there for main stage, for main events. He did last year.
Well, that's not what they're doing this year, at least not on there right now. Basically, main stage, there is nothing scheduled under Saturday, and that's probably the placeholder for it. And I think they're trying to wait on you, which may or may not work. I think it's not going to.
I think that at this point, though, the schedule, the fact that we are still waiting for guests is kind of an immutable fact at this point. So whatever you guys can do to work around that is much appreciated. Trust me, we're doing everything we can.
Okay, this is just
So-
from events. Schedule won't be finalized till like May when we know all the guests.
That's
Everything's-
not going to be enough time. Oh, to clarify, for the main stage events, I'm not too worried about it because it's going to be the same. I mean, we can just, it's basically going to be running continuously. So staffing that's not going to be a question. It's more of what's going on periphery in other areas.
You want the schedule for pretty much everything else that's not main stage.
Ideally, and the hours you're looking at for main stage being open, essentially.
I might be able to find something out about that.
That'd be good. Mostly because we need to be able to say, let's break this up into certain size shifts, and we need this many people in these different areas during these times. So regardless of what the event in the room is actually going to be, knowing the hours of the room is critical.
Okay,
For example,
I see.
with the vendors hall, all we really need to know is their hours, and we can go from there. So that's what we're looking for. Right, let's jump back down. We're having some issues with spam on our 1-in-1 server, where it seems that a lot of the mail items going out to staff discuss are being flagged by Comcast and one other, I think Hotmail, as spam, so stuff is getting blocked, but Jack is working as quickly as he can to get that unmarked. It's, I think, as far as he explained it, I believe it's an issue with 1&1 itself, not with our specific domain.
I would expect so.
On that note,
Yeah.
got a lovely email from Ian just the other day, in that apparently DreamHost advertises free hosting for nonprofits. Need to check in and see if they'll accept a state nonprofit or if they need federal status. But yeah, he says that basically be a drop-in replacement for 1&1, and we can be done with that mess.
Do you want me to interface that, or are you going?
I got it.
Okay, good.
I'll call it
Convention
Monday.
Master will not run on DreamHost. Period.
Flips. That was important.
Convention
Yes, we
Master
had a
will
lot
not
of
run
fun
on
with
DreamHost.
that.
Not in any reliable method. Bear in mind, there are other ways to host it and still have it work. You can put it on a subdomain on a separate box and it'll work fine.
I don't know. There's enough people around who have separate boxes that can make that work for.
Right.
Pretty much.
Note-
Just an FYI for implementation.
Note that we're not running on 1&1 right now.
Oh,
the website is being run by
by
the-
Ponyverse.
By Ponyverse.
Yeah.
Oh, well then
But
in
the
that
email-
case...
This is just for the email stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why would you... Hotmail offers a similar thing, hosted Outlook for nonprofits as well.
We need our
federal.
Yeah, we need our status to do that.
Google as well for the same deal, and the
Yeah.
Google solution is a little better.
Oh,
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right now we're using 1&1, I believe, for DNS and email.
I agree with you.
Yep.
Sweet.
That's exactly
Well, I
what
don't know
it's
what's
for.
I'm sure Jack has his thoughts on it.
Although, it's
Okay.
debatable some days.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt.
Let's see here. I know I was actually expecting to see some people that had questions about the HR process, but I don't see them here. So HR has been going through. How do I put this? All three of my staff members are new at it, and this is the first time I've been a director, so it's a learning process the entire way as to what works, what doesn't. There's stages at which we become more formalized, there's stages at which we back up and we let things go, and we realize this process isn't working.
So I think you're looking for the word transition.
Yes, we learn. We're in a process of transition. So I realize often that some of the processes that we have in place may not necessarily seem to make sense. So I was wondering, does anybody, and this is a completely open question, anybody can ask, of what you've seen, what have you thought of the way the hiring process is going, if anybody's had experience with it?
One real quick interruption though. Before that, Jack said 1&1 has supposedly resolved their issue with Comcast. They are still working on MSN Hotmail.
Good. So I got some kickbacks from Comcast when I sent out to staff discuss, so it was troubling. Right. Back on track. Does anybody have any thoughts or have interacted with the hiring process? What have you thought? That's it?
It's
Just
been
smile?
weird. It's been weird for some of us.
Yeah.
Because, me and Christy, for prime example, we weren't hired by Everfree.
You're hired right now, aren't you?
We were hired by Pegasi. We were never hired by Everfree. We
As
were
far as-
only staff until Royal was put on, or Royal was put in. So I don't know where.
Basically, Gene handles year-to-year stuff that spans multiple committees, so he generally works under the auspices of the board.
So it's kind of weird. Yeah.
Does that mean that he's not employed with Everfree?
He's a consultant of Pegasi. He's not technically Everfree staff.
Does that mean he's not supposed to be in the directory? Because the directory.
It's useful to have him in the directory.
See, this is where it gets weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to let you know. 'Cause
Yeah.
It was kind of weird for us because for 2 months, me and Christy were the only 2014 Everfree staff.
Yeah.
I read that one thing. What was that you sent me, Aloha? That link.
The staff terms and conditions, essentially.
Yeah, you could be a little bit more warm and fuzzy on that.
Think so?
I understand the
are you
hard
referring-
line of it.
Are you referring to on the volunteer site?
A little bit warm and fuzzy would be
Appreciate.
On the volunteer site?
Is that where it was?
On the application, yes, those.
Okay.
No. Yeah, go to the volunteer application.
Yeah. You're talking about the agreement at the bottom, right?
Yeah, the terms and conditions. The other thing is, can you modify that form? I can do shirts up to 5X, and we should be offering staff shirts if we're doing the T-shirts again.
On this form?
on the volunteer application,
Yes.
we should be offering staff shirts up to 5X. I can do that. That's not a problem.
Oh, I see. For programming on the website.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
as
thanks.
in.
Yeah, let me write that down. Thank you, by the way. I'm adding that to my notes.
But yeah, the terms and conditions on what Gene was talking about are very legal.
With regard to that, I will respond. It's the same ones we used for the last 2 years, but I said it the first year, I've been here like all week, and I said, we're going to use these terms. If anyone doesn't like them, feel free to send me information. One person did, and then you and I have talked. So yes, I love the feedback. Any other feedback, we will continue to eat feedback up.
I'm presuming it's like most of our attendees with whatever the AUP is for attending the convention. Most people don't read it.
Well, and hey, if they do read it, I want them on staff. So
Yeah. And
there we go.
it's. I think there's pretty much. The only thing in here that I can really see is the two main things are we can release you if we need to. I mean, it's a volunteer service. It says the time in which you're supposed to be volunteering, and it asks you to do at least 12 hours of service. There's a lot of positions where it's either pre-con planning or one other exception, and that'll be made clear if there's a problem as far as your schedule. Because my staff will be working with each department to make sure scheduling is set up. So, I mean, exceptions can be made. Yes.
I do want to just my own 2 cents on this, and this is not, you don't have to take this as gospel, but I do think that, this year we've done a tremendous job of delegating better to the different directors, and I think that when it comes to the department putting in their time, I would say that generally I would say that we should trust the directors of departments to know whether or not everybody in the department is pulling their weight instead of taking down and nickel and diming people for their for how many hours they put in. Because everybody helps out in different ways, and being as hectic as things are at the con, sometimes things may not be documented properly. So I would just kind of caution you to not take a number on a page as evidence of someone's contribution.
Well, it's really more their agreement that they will, not their agreement that they did.
Yeah.
So
The current plan is working with each department that will have scheduled staff, and that doesn't mean all staff are going to be scheduled. It means staff that need to be scheduled. For example, security staff that need to be monitoring the vendors hall for a period of time. Those will be like a scheduled staff member, whereas your media liaisons might be a little bit different. Those we'll be following up with to set up a schedule. As far as following through with that schedule, we're not going to be monitoring them on that. That's up to like you said, that's up to the leads. There was, and I had to sit here and debate for a long time whether I should do this, the idea of performance evaluations, and I decided for what we do and for the work that we do, that doesn't make sense and it's not appropriate. So if you guys have feedback about how your staff goes, great. I can take that and record it. But at this time, there's no plans to actually do any kind of performance evaluation.
You might want to send out an email afterwards, just letting people know that while it's not a formal obligation, that they are free to do it, because with all the hubbub with the con, we will likely forget.
To do you mean
afterwards, because I would want to send you evaluations of the staff under me.
Yeah.
But I might forget if I don't get an email right after the con.
Okay. Would you guys want a template to work off of for that, or would you just throw me your feedback in
An outline.
In an outline?
Just make it if you have any feedback on your staff, and then here's the form I've knocked up. Otherwise,
give a list of. Were they punctual? Were they friendly with the staff? They seem to have problems.
Also, like examples of things you might.
Yeah, just because different people might not think of certain things that might be very useful. So having something written out ahead of time after talking with one or two people might help.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. So the way the hiring process is currently working, there was a lot of debate about the philosophy between do we make sure staff members are good for the convention before they come in? And to what degree do we do that? Do we interview them? What do we do? At the beginning of the year, I was leaning pretty heavily on the side of let's find out about people before they come in. My HR staff has gone a different direction in saying, well, I don't know about the efficiency of that, and we can always hold people accountable to doing the work that they're supposed to do. And actually, Aloha here advised me a while back that I would go this direction.
Because what I essentially said, and it was at the first meeting when you
Was.
announced the process, I said, for directors and high-level people, you really do want to gauge their interest and interview them and see what their experiences are. When you're hiring guy for security, guy to work registration, you need a warm body. If they don't work, you send them away and get another one, effectively.
The nice thing that it actually worked out really well because the change in the badge policy, making it so that all staff badges are free the year that you do your service, made it possible so that if somebody doesn't do their service and they don't show up for their scheduled shift, we just have to tell security, hey, if you see this person, please revoke their badge. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we actually have a way to enforce it this year that's different from years before where they may have paid for their badge, and so.
I want to have a conversation with you afterwards
Yeah.
on that one.
Not about the kick out part, but the revoke badge part.
Both.
Yeah.
I'm very
effectively
leery
can't do
of
that.
any policy
Mhm.
where we are inadvertently roping people into perform or else.
Mhm.
That is not a good way to establish good feelings for the future.
Mhm.
That is in fact a very good way for
Well, it doesn't keep them from going
What
back.
I would say is,
Yeah.
make a note,
Mhm.
don't hire them next year.
Mhm.
Once the convention has started, the water is over the bridge, you've lost it, you cannot go back. You've got them, try and get the best you can out of them, and if they don't work going forward, make a note, and don't do it again. But trying the logistical machinations of trying to revoke someone's badge, get them back in, fix it in the system, get them to pay,
Too much
all at the event while this is going on for maybe a dozen people,
Too much effort.
it's not worth the trouble, effectively.
That's if they're okay with it. And then suddenly it could be a big problem. And
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
calling the sheriff to get them removed from the property.
Yeah, that,
Because it could really go
Hotel.
that
Calling the sheriff.
downhill
It-
that fast.
The hotel.
it is unlikely to happen in this community, but I have seen it in enough other places where you don't want to open that can of worms.
Yes.
Let's talk about it because we still have to look at if people don't show up, what happens.
If people don't show up, we do what every other convention that's ever been understaffed does.
Go overwork the rest of the staff.
Yes, that's the
what we
correct
always
answer.
do.
Well, it's the truthful answer.
I realize that, I don't necessarily want to say we should be like the furry community.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things ever from my Ampricon days, they had a bunch of big yellow lights that they brought in. I don't know where we got them. I think we stole them from a roadside somewhere. But we would bring them in, and oh God, we need volunteers. The light goes on, and there's just this siren signal. No siren, but just bright signal saying volunteers needed. Oh God, please come help us.
Yeah.
Well, like,
MFF have a similar thing.
like last year, I did what I call a lobby
Ready-
suite
ready
because
to
I
sit
ran
down.
volunteers for FC. You walk through the public areas of the hotel. You look for the guy sitting by himself looking bored. You will find at least 30 of them. You gather them up, you take them over to solve your task, and then send them away.
That happened to me.
Yeah. And honestly,
And occasionally you end up with staffers out of it.
yeah, yes.
For that to have fun at a convention.
Sorry to
they'd otherwise
derail
be just
this,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you know,
It's a good derail.
It's honestly like last year we had all that tape up in the pre-function out there. I found, well, one, I needed someone to look at it with me. There were a bunch of bronies standing there. I'm like, hey guys, what do you guys think? Is this wide enough? And that was before Indy showed up with everyone else. They're like, yeah. So they were helping me put the tape down before you guys showed up.
Oh, the tape.
They were helping me put signage up before later when I finally got the signage done from you. They helped me tape it down and all of that. And then when we pulled the tape up, there were a bunch of fools standing around, and they helped me pull the tape up. They had a blast pulling the tape up.
If we want to do something like that, it might be nice to have a little thank you sticker printed out ahead
Yeah.
of time. Like, thank you for answering the call of the herd.
Thank you.
Put it on their badge.
Yeah, you can stick it
Yeah.
on your badge. You can be like, yeah.
How about a ribbon?
Yeah, I was just thinking
Ribbon.
ribbons.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I know that we are going to be having the ribbons for various things to indicate, you know, your
Answered the call
goal,
of the
you get this
herd.
ribbon, blah, blah,
I
blah.
like that language.
Since we're already going to be doing that, why not have one that says, hey, I helped? And it doesn't convey that they're staff, but it does convey that, hey, I helped out here, so I'm awesome.
Oh, yeah. I like it.
Hey,
I'm
maybe
awesome.
somebody says,
Okay.
I'm
No,
20% cooler than you.
CMC convention help us.
We'll work on it.
Okay, so AtCon
People
volunteers are
abusing the
awesome.
system isn't
We're pretty unanimous on that. Impromptu, yeah.
Well, that's as we discussed with the badge thing earlier.
Let's see here.
Loose leaf, anything else from
Wait,
HR?
going, yeah. Going way back.
Sinner.
Going way back from where we got derailed. Wow, that was way back. Let me think. It was dropping the interviews, right? Is where we were.
Dropping the interviews.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Okay, so we dropped the interviews. Basically, funny how things come full circle. Basically, we're at the point where we look at an applicant, we work with them to try and figure out what's best for what they want to do, and then we send it to the department lead for approval. But here's the tricky part. I'm pretty sure I emailed everybody about this. The 3 days. Is everyone aware of that?
No.
When we send out a staff member for you guys to review, there's a 3-day limit in which we need to move forward. We need to get people into staff in a timely way. And we've had a problem where sending 120 applicants different directions to all the leads, we don't get responses very frequently. So we set up a 3-day deadline where if we don't hear back, we're going to proceed. Anybody have objections?
I'd suggest a week is more.
Stretch it to a week.
Yeah, because
Give them time to look at it.
7 days. I think everyone can agree that if you have not checked your email in 7 days,
There's something wrong.
there's something wrong. And hi, you just got a new staff member.
I would say give them a week, but at 3 days, if you have not heard back, like I'm reviewing this, do a follow-up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reminder.
I'll get that changed with my team.
Also, as far as the hiring process goes, if they still meet the actual parameters of that position that was requested, then I don't see why. I mean,
The other thing I would-
obviously, you guys have vetted them, you guys have evaluated whether you think they'll be a good fit for our organization in general, they'll be a team player. I don't see a problem with that.
Before this meeting is over, you should stand up and say, "Hey, any new people here?
Yeah.
Get them and hire them like on the spot
Yeah.
for something for general staff because we're gonna need people like that. Attach it to him, and he'll figure out what to do with them."
Okay. HR, anything else?
Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, yeah, there's been a lot of discussion. I don't know if this is a cultural shift we have to make or what, about 621. Does everyone know what I'm referring to?
Yes.
Yeah. Six.
Hour with 6 people.
Oh,
Yeah.
that. No.
Yeah. There were 6 people in a kingdom.
Thank you.
Sleep, 2 meals, 1 shower.
A day.
Oh, minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, minimum, and that's a day, not for the whole con. Okay. Now, I hear the language a lot that people that are veterans here at the convention are all like, go, and don't stop. And even if I'm only scheduled for this amount of time, I'm going to keep going.
All shift is best shift.
Okay. It is valiant, but I think there's something they're not seeing, and that's when veteran staff push beyond their shifts and they push themselves to the limits they know they can endure. The problem is that new staff or other people that that don't know their own limits will follow that example and cause problems. And we've had this happen. So it's up to you guys, the veteran staff and the people that know this convention, not only to know your limits, but to know the limits of the people around you and follow your shift. Try to follow 621. If it really is an emergency, that's understandable. But the entire con isn't necessarily an emergency.
And something to remember on 621 is there should be an addendum for the limit of energy drinks you have in a day. because energy drinks do not contribute toward a meal in terms of nutrition, and they can cause you to collapse with issues.
I want to tell everybody a short parable here. Who was not here? Who was not here the first year?
I wasn't staff, but I
Because
did.
I remember a certain staffer who had a 5-shot latte, not very little water, and no sleep the night before the first day of the first con.
I remember that.
I remember that.
Yeah. I'm not going to say who it was, but the paramedics were called, and that is what happens when you do not follow 621 and 2 liters of water per day.
Yes, I was just remembering it was.
I drink like 5 or 6.
Yes,
Yeah.
but even last year, guys, Line Monkey got removed by me and wasn't allowed to work again until she got food. And yes, cookies and a chocolate milk are not food groups.
Girl Scout cookies.
Which doesn't make a difference.
Which, although he's
The
General Girl Scouts.
The assistant head of electronic gaming, I think somebody did a run for us. James did a run for Subway and came back, and I got a bite out of my sandwich and sent the rest to the electronic gaming person who was laying on the floor who had not eaten for 2 days. I'm sorry, no convention is worth starving yourself to death for. Now, yes, there are some of us that, like, prime example, last rain for us, where I put the director of operations to bed and 4 or 5 other department heads to bed at 4 a.m. Then I went to bed at 4 a.m. or 4:30, and then I still was up at 8. Guess what, guys? I'm used to it.
Yeah.
And you worked up to it, just jump.
I want to add one more thing too, is that if for nothing else, when you don't take care of yourself, it sets a really poor example for our attendees that they can do the same. If you're taking good care of yourself, this means drinking plenty of water, being well rested, mentally alert, it basically sets subconsciously a higher standard for our attendees to do the same way.
One thing I want to note on that though, and this is specifically to the other directors. If you do not have a second who is trained to do your job as well as you could, you will give in to the temptation to think you are indispensable. You are not.
Most people can be replaced by batteries.
I could be replaced by a 10-line Pearl script.
5.
An awk one-liner.
So
it's very long.
Yes.
It's also like not just a matter of knowing hypoglycemics. I know what happens when I don't eat, but I wasn't prepared to the point where even when I knew, I need to get food, I didn't have the resources to get it. So definitely well prepared for the con, with what you need to get food or with
Everything was highlighted.
I don't know if it's encouraging, but we do have a hospitality lead this year that'll be dedicated to taking care of the lounges. And part of that plan is in the staff lounge having some of those resources available, not to depend on, mind you guys, but it'll be there just in case you need it.
We have a question in the back.
Also hypoglycemic, so just get some beef jerky or some high protein trail mix. Put some every day in Ziploc baggies. Keep them on your person. They are your friends. They end up being around and about a lot. Don't have a lot of time. They will help you.
Soy nuts are cheap. Lots of protein.
Yes.
Readily digest.
So
if you overheat, you can run cold water over your wrists. That helps a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't forget, guys, it's going to be hot. It's July. I know, we forget about the heat because it's Washington and it's cold. Drink water, really, it's important. It really is.
Before you're thirsty.
Huh?
It's hit or miss for July 4th.
Yeah.
This all sounds like staff handbook stuff. Am I right?
It will be in the staff handbook. Yeah.
Okay.
We should get bulk Gatorade powder.
Gatorade powder.
Just one small thing that I want to say about knowing your limits, yada 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 stuff. If a base staff member that is have you, notices that you're not doing well, and asks you to take a break, please do so. Just please.
It is out of concern for you, not.
Yeah,
You know,
we're here because we want to help, and we don't want to see you die, and we don't want you to make mistakes that will cost us money.
That's the same. Look at me.
You have to be across from me, okay?
I'm always across from you.
So for the directors and leads, I understand that you guys have pretty flexible. Like you don't know when things are going to happen or when you need to be there. So I'm not gonna babysit you. Go and do your thing. But for your scheduled staff, it's really important that you have them stick to that and try to honor it. Because if they don't, they're just gonna work the entire convention and fall apart. It's very critical.
You should see my Navy leader Brony can. I have scheduled staff. They all follow this.
You guys are better than security.
Yes.
It's security, bro.
So what if the schedule for your department mysteriously disappears, like the day after?
Oh, then I have to rush in and try and save the day, which I did last year.
What people like me are for.
Yeah.
Because I've been everywhere.
Yeah. Right. So, let's jump back over here. Oh yeah, my HR staff, by the way, are authorized. At least I've asked them to, if they spot somebody that doesn't match the 621, to either like talk with you guys about it or say, look, you really can't be doing this right now. Am I able to take your spot? Which they'll talk to you as the leads and directors about doing that. Yeah. Do you want to go to the staff wiki? Mm-hmm. Sweet. And go back to the homepage. So, hiring supervisors, which there's a lot of you in here right now. Surprise, it's a staff meeting. See that thing that says staff structure? So, do you see the 2014 staff structure right there? I mean, it's pretty like.
Whoa, there's that.
It's getting bigger.
Great.
That, click on it. That has two very critical things. It has a chart, an actual chart of our organization. It's not the most up-to-date version, but it's still roughly the correct chart. It's like the chart. I mean, you're looking at the convention staff. Anyway, if you want to go back to the... What you're looking at here is the actual... These are where the job descriptions are stored for everybody, and there's a reason that these exist. If you guys remember last year, some people going, I don't know what my job is. I don't know what I'm responsible for. Or things that were supposed to be taken care of that just fell through the holes. This is designed to catch that. So you can look at your own job description and be like, well, no, I actually do this. And yes, you are welcome to be like, HR, we need to change this because this isn't right. But it really should try and stay up to date. So please take a look at this for you and your staff. Job descriptions should really be sitting here so that you and everyone else knows, oh, okay, you take care of this. I'm going to go find you and talk to you about it. Yeah.
Just want to mention too.
Yeah.
For some reason, my new assistant still isn't listed on the staff page.
That's my fault.
Oh.
It's finals week.
Yeah, she did set up a page. She was going to be here with me today, but something.
Oh, okay, sweet. After the meeting, I'll get it in. Any questions about the job descriptions here? Okay, and there's only one more thing left for HR. Do you want to go back wiki side? Main page. Okay, go down to the directory. Yep. Like Gemini was just saying, she was referring to the directory, the staff directory. You can go down so we can see the list. This reflects who's on staff. So if you don't see your staff on here, they haven't been officially hired. This reflects, there's some people that got on here before we had the staff application process up, but it reflects that we have a staff application on file, and we have their badge info, and they're ready to go. So, hiring supervisors, that's critical. Any questions? Cool, I'm done. That's it.
Okay. Well, and actually, did you cover? Okay, you still want to do stuff out. Okay. Still do it.
Staff, especially yeah, as they come in, it's basically we need to determine the numbers for departments, which depends on that event's master schedule, which is, once we have that, we can really do placement much faster. So, does that help? It's vague, but we're doing our best. We have 3 people trying to process a lot of applications.
I understand.
Yeah.
Just anybody with basic A/B experience, like they know how to use their car stereo, just send them.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Oh yeah. If they don't, I'll hound them on that.
If they don't, I'll rip their badge off and give it to you.
Okay. Yeah.
So the requirement is they can plug something in.
Yes. I
Yeah.
can teach you everything.
That was about my skill level in the first year, and I did fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have
all
a
right.
fantastic beard. It helps compensate for any.
Well, I do have that authority.
Plug it in.
So I didn't get any other general discussion or announcements. So if anyone has anything they would like to, in general, just ask a question about the con to anyone in particular, or if they have any announcements.
Yeah, I
they'd
got
like to
something.
Yep.
I thought I sent it to you, asking about how we're going to do event tables at other conventions and such. Like we've got Emerald City Comic Con and Sakura Con. What do we need to do, and what do we need to get together to do that?
I believe Flips
Be a
is.
little less big. Are you talking about the arrangements between the conventions, or are you talking about our physical setup?
How do we do it if we're the person volunteering?
That changes from event to event. Sometimes they'll, mail you badge. Sometimes you pick it up from their operations office. Sometimes they'll.
I think he's talking about how he can volunteer to work at the table.
I've already volunteered to work at the table. Just haven't heard anything back.
Oh.
It might make sense for us to assemble just a little thing, not quite a staff handbook sort of thing, but oh hey, you're repping at a con. Here's what you need to know. Here's what needs to go into it.
Yeah.
Just like a quick
Page on the wiki.
Yeah, sure. We'll toss that together.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the thing I
Like,
forgot.
SakuraCon's going on, but NorwestCon is also going on. Up here is can somebody?
Yeah.
Because I can tell you now, one of our sci-fi artists watched My Little Pony with her niece, and is now so hooked. And this is an artist who used to do cover art for sci-fi books. Now she's now so hooked on My Little Pony.
Cool.
That's how it happens.
Cool.
Going to her usually.
So I did. Oh yeah.
Yes, I can bring posters and whatever means and to be able to both events, SoccerCon and NorwestCon.
Yeah, see, I'll be at NorwestCon. I just don't know by the time between now and then to. We have a meeting on the 5th, right?
Yeah.
Can somebody have flyers for me to take there?
Yeah, sure. Do we have a general usage flyer?
Sorry.
I think so.
Flyers. It's been on the queue, but a bunch of other things have kept stepping in front of that, and I'm trying to, as far as Sakura goes, I really should just, I know, I should throw something together quick because I know these are coming up.
Whatever the ones I think
I was just gonna.
Put it under your assistant. Put it under your assistant.
Well, yeah.
There you
Now
go.
that I have that actually on fucking right now. So.
Well, pretty much as long as we have that by the next meeting, everything's gravy. We're actually really like to have one for our city. Yeah.
As long as I don't have to go out.
John.
So is there gonna be like?
It's at the end of this month.
Go ahead.
Is there gonna be like general populace promotions like there was last year of just troll around Seattle and hand out flyers to normals?
Well, we actually have a department specifically for that now.
Yes. We have. I believe Christina's doing that. Isn't she?
Yeah.
Christina Decker. She's not here today, I don't think. But yeah, she's handling that. She's on the media team. So yes, she will be hosting events and letting us know. I haven't heard anything yet though. But okay, I did forget one thing. You want to go to the staff wiki there? So we're getting closer to the end, but I'm noticing there's something missing. I see writing has a page. Visual arts, click on it, please. This is great. I love it. Okay, back up. That's
well,
good.
it's a start.
Yeah.
Show them the logistics page.
Yeah, okay, good. It's good example.
Placeholder.
Gotta see our motto.
We ship ponies.
Ship ponies.
Okay, so
Good night.
If I were to go to logistics
To where?
page, I could
Waste
actually
factory?
start learning about how logistics works and what their plans are, how to interface with them. But if I go to a lot of the other department pages, I have nothing to work with. So this is how you can make it accessible to every staff member. Even my own page is admittedly, I try to keep it up to date, but I think I'm like 2 or 3 weeks behind. But like, this is how you make this information available. So please get to your page and make it. Events hardly even has pages. I mean, we need information. No, I know. I'm like vintner. I'm kind of vaguely
There's
just.
probably some confusion between how we do stuff, just because we have some things that we do with Vintner on a Google Docs, so that we have our events listed out, all the data. So everyone in events is using that. So I'm assuming that a lot of people didn't know that they were supposed to do pages on there.
Yeah, this is other departments depend on being able to see what's going on in your department. This is a way to make it visible.
And I'd like to note that Vintner last year included hotel in all the Google Docs. We've not seen one yet.
I believe that is not accurate. Check here.
He shared something with.
Part of the problem he's had is that he's sent some information in emails that were a long topic discussion about other stuff. So sometimes.
Well, I've already went and caught up on all my Everfree emails, and I don't remember seeing anything unless it went to Christine, not to me also.
I think some of them might have. I will look.
But yeah, as you complete projects, making them available here would be great so that everyone else can actually see what's going on. And that applies to other departments too. Like, I don't know that there's anything security-wise either at the moment. I don't see a page for it. But yeah, there's a few departments that... Well, pages from 2013 would have been archived, I think. Or removed. Deleted. Yeah, okay. But yeah, if you haven't created a page that's here, please do. We need to see what's going on.
In the future, archive it. Change the make sure that all of this shit is renamed 2014
I'm pretty sure the way
law.
wikis work, it is archived, isn't it?
Unless it's deleted.
Yes, because
It's
it is archived, but it is a real pain in the ass to get.
Oh, okay. I don't really. I didn't
What
go
Rainforest
through
does
that.
is for each year,
It's year
we name
department.
it. All of our pages for 2014 go 2014 whatever. Yeah. So then it's.
And then you
have
just
exactly
yeah.
all your stuff here.
So then on the main page
Some
you just link to
departments
2014.
don't
And then you can have department name HR that can transclude 2014 HR into HR. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Okay. So we're in the home stretch now. Are there any other general announcements or questions that anyone has? The floor is open. Anyone want to? Yes.
I just want to announce that I'm kind of gift staff the first year of conventions and stuff like that. I'm working with the AV team. But I've also donated part of my dedicated server to the IT department for testing, developing, and anything like that that they're open to do. So I got with Jack on that, and currently has 3 servers. So.
Okay, good.
Out of curiosity, your name?
My name's Joe. I also go by Joe or 3D Home Joe.
Oh yeah, we've talked. Yeah, I just haven't met you in person yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Okay, anyone else? First
I
call.
want to mention one more thing before we adjourn.
Yes.
I have a gentleman here from KUOW. You want to stand up, Chris?
KUOW,
local NPR affiliate, also a fellow fan, and he's going to be doing a multi-part series on My Little Pony and its fans for the radio station. So he's going to be, after we hammer it out with legal, is going to be looking to interview people on our staff.
This show, the first part is going to be coming out in April at the end of the month. The second one's going to be coming out right after the con in August. So, yeah.
Sweet.
It'll be fun.
Thank you for coming.
All right. Anyone else? First call. Second call. All right. So I have 20 more minutes. No, I'm kidding. Adjourn. See y'all here April 5th, 1 p.m. Yeah. April 5th. So that's only 3 weeks.
You're needed out here.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, and I need to talk clips.
Nobody's gonna read this. Nobody's gonna read this.
No, like I said,
Nobody's gonna read it, all right.